with Echoing Green. And how many of you know about Echoing Green? Okay, so a few more people.
You win.
So
we get to go home.
What we want to do today is, basically talk to you about how you should think about funding, how these organizations think about funding, the criteria, the requirements they look for, and how you might want to prepare yourselves in your processes in terms of your business, your planning, your organization, in pursuing funding. To get a sense of who's in the room, how many of you already have your own business that's up and running? And I guess the rest of you are thinking about starting or are in the process of formulating a business, is that correct? Okay. And for those of you who have businesses up and running, 1 year? Less than 3 years? More than 3 years? Okay.
I'm a consultant, so...
You're a consultant?
Yeah,
Bruce?
but independent.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so that's just to give us a sense, because I guess there's more folks here who are in the process or thinking about starting a business, so your requirements are going to be a little bit different than those who are already up and running less than 3 years of those north of 3 years. So we'll try to address all of that. What we'd like to do is, have each of our panelists tell you a little bit about their organizations and their thoughts about funding. Then I may ask a couple of skill testing questions to our panelists, of course, not to you all, but maybe to you, Bruce. And then it's for your questions. Really, this session is about you and what you want to know about. No question is a dumb question. So we encourage you to fire away when we get to that point. So moving right along. Mike, should we start with you?
Sure, why not? Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Wall. I'm the Executive Director for Greater Newark Enterprises Corporation. Greater Newark consisting of 7 counties in New Jersey. We cover from Monmouth, Middlesex, Union, Essex, Hudson, Bergen, and Passaic counties. We are a certified development financial institution via the U.S. Treasury, charged with providing resources to minority-owned, disadvantaged-owned, and women-owned businesses in that footprint. We have 2 parts to our programming. One is our Technical Assistance Program, the core of which is our Urban Entrepreneur Development Institute, which is an 8-week entrepreneurial training program, which meets once a week for about 3 hours and goes over the fundamentals of entrepreneurism. Really attacks your business concept or business from a feasibility standpoint, meaning is my business a go or a no-go? Do I have the right fundamentals? Do I have the right foundation? Do I have the right things in process to either start or continue with where I am? We deliver that program in both English and in Spanish. Secondly is that we are a microlender. Microlender being loans between $1,000 and $50,000 from no more than 5 years in term. We do not refinance debt. We are a project-based lender. And we specifically look to lend within those 7 counties that I mentioned earlier and to the demographics in which we're charged with via the CDFI. The 3 words that I'll leave you with as I hand off to Erich, and as you begin to think about today and about the session that we're about to get into here, and the 3 biggest things that I'd say to any entrepreneurs out there, whether you're for-profit or non-for-profit or thinking about it or already in it. Number 1 is confidence. You need to have confidence in who you are and what your mission is. Number 2 is connections. What are you doing to establish the right ones, and do you know who the right ones are? Do you know what you have? Do you know what you need? Have you done a SWOT analysis? Do you know what a SWOT analysis is? Number 3 are partners.
What is SWOT?
So SWOT analysis being strengths, weaknesses, S is strengths.
Opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats.
So strengths and weaknesses are internal to yourself and your organization. Opportunities and threats are external to the environment, your surroundings, your competition. And the last one that I'd say is partners. So who are you partnering with and why? And have you strategically thought about that? And if you haven't, why not? So those would be the three biggest things right there, is confidence, connections, and partners, and be more than happy to talk about the other things as we go forward.
And actually, I have just a couple things. Can you tell us what is, when you say you're a project-based lender, what that really means?
Sure. So if you come in to me and say, Mike, you lend up to $50,000, great, I need $50,000, Mike. Okay, what are you going to use it for? Well, I'm going to use it to renovate the kitchen that we're doing the catering business out of. Fantastic. Well, let me see a breakdown, price breakdown, outline, and a budget of what the money's going to go towards. Well, I need a new stove, and I need a new sink, and we need new flooring, and some new cabinets, and all that comes to $23,000. Okay, and what are you going to do with the other 27? Well, I was going to hold on to that for a rainy day. Well, it's not raining today. So we'll look to do the 23, and maybe there's a small working capital piece that we can put in there because you need to hire someone else to help with that, and we can work on what that budget piece would be. But we're just not going to say, well, let's round that 23 up to 50, because we really need to see where that money's going, how that money's going to be used, and more importantly, what your cash flow is going to be to repay that loan that we're going to be giving to you. Because we do loans, we don't do grants.
Loans versus grants.
Don't go there.
Because a lot of people think, you know, a low-rate loan might be considered a grant, but it's actually not, right? And if Bruce and I, sorry to pick on you, Bruce, since you're in the front row, but if Bruce and I want to join your 8-week entrepreneurship training program, how often do you run that program? What are the deadlines? And quick in terms of the requirements.
Sure, absolutely. So we run the program 4 times a year. Twice in English, twice in Spanish. We just ended the English program last weekend. The next program in English will launch in September. You can visit us on our website, pick up my card and information after the program to find out more details there. And in terms of requirements to get into the program, whether you have an idea, whether you started yesterday, or whether you've been in business for 30 years, we're open to everyone and anyone. In any industry, as long as it's legal. Let me just say that. Legal meaning not against the law, not meaning registered with the state. As long as it's a legal entity, we are absolutely more than willing to try to see what we can do to help you. You do not need to be a borrower of ours to go through any of the technical assistance training programs.
But you have to be, do you have to be a resident of New Jersey, or just your business is?
For us to lend to you, you need to be in the 7 counties that you're in. For you to participate in any of our programs, you could live in Canada or anywhere else.
Okay. We're going to apply, right, Bruce? Eric.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erich Peter. I am the Director of Training for UCEDC, and we are a statewide economic development organization. A lot of our programs are very similar to some of the programs Mike said. We do small business lending. We're what's called, we're also a certified development financial institution, and we're also a small business administration intermediary lender. Meaning under our microloan program, we borrow money from the SBA and we turn around and we lend it out to small businesses, startup businesses, and usually the focus is on those, you know, women-owned, minority-owned, those businesses that really can't get traditional funding, whether they're too new in business or their funding requirements aren't large enough to be attractive to a bank, or maybe you've had some credit issues or some you know, some other issues in your past where you can't go the traditional route. We try to fill that niche. And under the microloan program, we go up to about $50,000, $35,000 for startups. We also are under the SBA was a Community Advantage 7A lender. So what we do is under that program we can lend up to $250,000, and depending upon the amount you're looking to borrow, either 75% or 85% will be guaranteed by the Small Business Administration. So, you know, it gives businesses a little bit more of a cushion that they could borrow under, and it gives the lender a little bit more freedom because they know the majority of their loan is going to be guaranteed by the SBA. So really, when you're looking about financing that, the primary collateral considerations are really just on that unsecured portion of the debt that we would look for. We have some other loan programs too, called our Business Growth Fund, that can go up to $150,000, and that's for businesses that have been in business for about 2 years and have a profitable operating history, and that's usually for someone who's looking to grow, to expand, to take that next step in their business. In addition to our lending programs, we too do training and technical assistance. We are the partner with the Economic Development Authority in New Jersey to offer training and technical assistance on a statewide basis. We run, very similar to Mike, a 6-week program. I just speak much quicker than he does, so we get it in 6 weeks, for startup entrepreneurship, as well as we run a separate 6-week program for advanced businesses that are looking to, that are really 2+ years in business and may have stagnated or may be looking to expand, and it becomes more of a best practices type of environment, and we refine the business plan at that stage. In our other class, our entrepreneurship, we really also do the assessments and help them get a startup business plan going. The one other thing we do is we have a government procurement arm, whereas we help businesses learn how to contract with the government agencies, whether they're federal, state, municipal. We help you find bids that could be appropriate to your business. We help you with the whole bidding process, help you write your